Do you live in Washington State and want to know the best place for your first hike? Look no further, cause we're going to Rattlesnake Ledge. Hello and welcome to EcoEsque, where I, Daniel Kim, try to inspire you to get out into nature. If you're from Washington State, chances are you've been asked this question. Wanna go hiking? And what's stopping you? It's great exercise, lots of fun, and you get to breathe in some fresh air. And in Washington State, we have plenty of it. And if you're the person trying to get that person out onto their very first hike, maybe you shouldn't try killing their spirit the very first time. That's why when I introduce people to hiking, Rattlesnake Ledge is the very first place I take them to. That was my very first hike around 9 years ago, and look at me, I'm hooked. So enough rambling, let's drive to the site.
You can't stop the jazz.
Can't stop
the jazz.
Hello and welcome to EcoEsque. I'm your host Daniel Kim, and today we are climbing Rattlesnake Ledge.
Oh, yeah, baby.
Today I'm with two beginner hikers. Introduce yourself.
Yeah, I'm Duck. I'm Russell.
Yeah, and then we're going up on an easy hike. Not too bad. It's rainy right now, but we're Washingtonians, so it doesn't really matter, right? Yeah. The sign on the hike says it's going to be moderate to difficult. I think these guys can do it. Are you guys confident?
Oh, yeah, boy.
So this is the entrance to the site. A nice gravelly path. Even on rainy days, this is a busy hike. But before we start, an important PSA from Duck and Russell.
Throw away your trash. No littering.
Before you ask, yes, you can bring dogs to the trail. And here we enter the trailhead. I see the trail. Woo! At the beginning of the site, you'll see these giant rocks. The local refer to them as greeter boulders. Leave in the comments your ideas on how these boulders got here. The reason why this hike is perfect for beginners is because it starts off as a casual walk in the woods, then it slowly increases in difficulty. If you guys can identify them, most of the trees you see here are called Western Hemlocks, Tsuga heterophylla. The cool thing about these guys is that you only see these kind of trees in places that are really well established. They're great indicators that you're walking in a healthy old forest, especially if they're in the majority. The hike is on a relatively easy side, with a one-way track of around 2 miles and a gain of 1,160 feet. You can take your time and get to the top at your leisure. Check out that understory of sword fern, Polystichium minutum. You guys probably call these Christmas ferns, the kind of flat plants that you see on lots of Christmas decorations. Long ago, the Snoqualmie people would use the leaves of the sword fern to help with their sore throats. Oh, and on a side note, I don't recommend wearing jeans, especially while hiking, especially in the rain. In hiking culture, when you cross paths with another person on the mountain, hellos are usually shared. The temperature on the day we went on our hike was around 46 degrees with a wind speed from 8 miles per hour to even 37 miles per hour. The trees were swaying, but the taste of the summit was too good to resist. Check out all this moss. Most people don't notice, but we can classify many of our forests here as rainforests. We get 62 inches of rain in Snoqualmie, with most of it being half of the year from October to May. As the path becomes steeper, my friends want to take a rest. No worries, there are lots of rest points on the trail.
Time for some Sweeney Hut Jr. action.
And there are people of all types of fitness levels, but we don't judge here. Maybe give a like and subscribe to boost your energy. This trail has a lot of different land features, so be careful where you step. There truly is beauty everywhere you look. It may seem difficult to keep hiking, but just remember, it's only a repeated pattern of one step at a time. Slowly but surely, we start approaching the top. You can tell because of how strong the winds get. But I can't help but take a peek at beautiful scenery. Truly, it is times like these that make going out such a thrill. There's so much adventure to be had if you just take a small drive towards your destination. If you're tired, know that there is reward if you manage to go to your destination, so keep on going. And oops, my GoPro died. Forgot my extra batteries in the car. Good thing I have my phone to keep on going. And now, after all that hard work, we've done it. We're here, so close to Rattlesnake Ledge. A beautiful view awaits us. We have finally made it. We've come so high up, there's snow on the ledge. The wind blows at insane speeds, preventing us from going much further. But being reinvigorated by the strong winds, we had a lunch and decided to keep pushing further and see what lies ahead. I don't recommend that you guys do this if you aren't prepared properly if it's conditions like this. But I was experienced with reading the landscape, so I decided to see what lies ahead. With conditions being more unfavorable and slippery, I made sure to continuously check up on my friends. I made sure not to push them too much. They could turn back at any point if they wanted to, but they kept going. But if things looked sour, I made sure that we turned back. The snow was fresh and soft to the touch. I made sure that we stayed right on the trail. Again, if you're experienced or not with someone who is, I don't recommend going into conditions like this. But what kept pushing me further was the beautiful nature that surrounded me. Seeing differences in the previous environment brought so much awe to my eyes. If you remember previously, we looked at Western Hemlocks, the ones that grow on rotting logs. Over here, the species of trees have changed to firs, alders, and salal. We have Douglas fir, an important tree inside Washington ecosystems. From the cones, I assumed it to be Red Alder, Alnus rubra, while I was surprised it was so high up in the mountains. And Salal, Gaultheria Shalon understory, a plant we saw everywhere on this mountain. But once the snow got too deep, I looked at the watch and decided it was time to head back. It took a while, but eventually we got to more reasonable ground. And yep, long story short, we made it down safely. I'm pointing to where we climbed from. We finally made it to the end. Woo! How do you guys feel?
Tired. I want food.
Yeah,
I want more food.
I want food too.
It's alright, that.
It was fun.
Oh yeah.
So much snow.
We became men.
Yes. We're once we were boys. Now we are men.
Now we are men.
Like
We need our testosterone shot.
And that is all. Well, thanks for watching my adventure video. If you like this kind of content, please subscribe. I make this kind of video every Friday. If you got to the very end, really I thank you so much. I hope that this video has inspired you to get out there and explore nature. But for now, go out there and be inspired. Peace.